Hi, Rising. Hi, guys. I'm actually very excited to be here with you. Come on, roll your behinds up and through here. Come on in here. Can you feel the love tonight? It beats the evening breeze. Come on in here so we can get started, because we are welcomed with open arms into our new reality, and I am here to assist all of you beautiful beings during this process of ascension and change and evolution within self. Can you feel the love tonight? The title of this Rising's discussion is Purpose Development and Love. It beats the evening breeze. What are y'all doing early right now? What are you doing up? Because it really doesn't matter. Spirit brought you in here for a reason. So thank you so much for making space and time. We are going to get started. I am Story Lawes. I am the head operations manager for the EEVH Restoration Network based out of Atlanta, Georgia. And it is my heartfelt passion, responsibility, and true desire to awaken the collective consciousness and to strengthen it and equip it with what it needs in order to take on these assignments that we are all receiving callings for. If you have been spiritually called during this time, you are here at this live for a reason, and I am here and on time and in place for the same. I am your assistant. I am driving this ship, this rising. So thank you for making time and space. The EEVH Restoration Network is a conglomerate of multifaceted creatives. Multifaceted creatives are just beings, whether they be I don't want to call them standard or basic, because that's not right, but they're just beings who are spiritualists or just multifaceted, meaning that they have multiple intuitive skill sets that they have, and they monetize them, and then they offer them to the collective to be able to aid in the restoration of Earth and the human consciousness. Right now, our human consciousness is on a scale. We are sitting on a scale of time and placement. And during this shift that we're experiencing, it is our responsibility to hold hands, to push the scales over on the further positive side of things so that we can see collectively all of our heavens come to earth. Right? Because truly there is no place up in the sky with a bunch of mansions and keys waiting on us. You know, it is our responsibility to figure out that our heaven is within, and then to cultivate the energies necessary to manifest it within our physical reality so that we can co-create and coexist in our most desirable spaces together and for each other. We are one, and it is our responsibility to love on each other and support each other and build each other up and congratulate each other in the manifestation of our heavens on earth. So what does your heaven on earth look like? What does your most desirable life look like? What does your most desirable loving relationship look like? How far from your heaven on earth are you? Or have you even been thinking about your heaven on earth? Do you know that that is something that is a possibility? Right? So what we're going to do tonight, or this morning rather, is pretty much discuss exactly how to go about establishing, going through the process of your purpose development. And then we're going to talk about love, because I love me some love, and I got a message that somebody who also loves some love is sneaking on my lives. So I want to do that, and then at the very end we're going to do a collective oracle reading for you guys. So the purpose development program that the EEVH Restoration Network offers is a program where we sit one-on-one with individuals, right? And we go through a process of finding out who and what they are down to the core. Not necessarily just their personality, but their spirit. There are so many different types of spirits and species and forms within the human bodies that exist here on earth. So if we can sit with you and figure out exactly what all you got going on, then that makes us that much more equipped to be able to properly guide you into allowing you to authentically express in all that you are. Because when you authentically express in all that you are nothing but in support of the human collective, right? You find your place, you find your tribe, you find your happiness, you find your modalities to create your heaven on earth again. See, it cycles itself. And then you start fulfilling your divine purpose. And that's ultimately what we want to do. We want to pull away from our slave ships, our slave mentalities, our slave operations. And we want to become sovereign beings again. Whatever kind of being we are, we want to take hold of our sovereignty again and start loving ourselves and loving our lives. We want to enjoy our life. So we at the Eve Restoration Network, here at the Eve Restoration Network, I work with you guys to be able to free you from the shackles that you can and cannot see. All right. It is absolutely uncomfortable. It is not easy. This is not something for the weak. But once you find yourself on the other side, there is no turning back. And I can say that with absolute surety. So let's talk about the Purpose Development Program itself. There are 4 tiers of how exactly it's done. The first one is the individual analysis. So that's kind of like what I was talking about, right? We're sitting down, I'm figuring out where your mind is. What do you believe? Do you believe in a God in heaven? Do you believe that you are God? Do you put faith in other people majority of the time? Do you feel confident in being able to assert yourself based off of your own frame of thinking? All these things are important because when you start practicing your word, because your word is your bond, when you start practicing your word, whatever foundation that you have is the one that's going to support you. And the truths of the real foundational support out here will be revealed to you, and it may or may not be what you had initially held as truth. For example, abundance. True abundance and true wealth comes from natural resource. Natural resource is nothing but the manifestation. Natural resource is nothing but the manifestation of the divine, of Mother Nature. I held a live last rising just yesterday, very early in the morning. And I noticed that men like to find themselves also very curious, regardless to whether or not it's comfortable, acceptable. I used to carry a very beautiful weapon to guard myself, but I don't want to do that anymore. I don't. I will, but I don't want to. I want to mother you men and to look you in your face and to teach you about appropriateness and self-discipline and just allow you to temper yourself, because women don't want the bear, but a lot of them choose the bear because you are untempered and unrational. Back to our scheduled programming. Because, come on. Jeez. Abundance. Abundance is directly connected to Mother Nature, the natural resources of life. So when you think about your life right now, what you're experiencing in your home, you have your television, you have your couches, your bed, your I even have one. I have a duvet. Oh, I love my duvet. Oh my gosh. You have your toilet. right? You have your refrigerator, your lights, automatic, carpet. All of these things are comforts, and they are in an abundance, and they are close by. And when you visit them every day, and without even thinking about it, when you subconsciously rely on them every day, what you end up doing is fooling yourself about where your abundance lies and where your true security lies and support lies. Because the system that we live in, and I know that you guys already know this, but I need to say it anyway, just to framework what I'm going to say later. The system that we live in is not in support of sovereignty. It's not in support of individuality. It's not in support of free thinking and authenticity and things like that. So if you endeavor to take on the challenge of being your own person, of being a sovereign and sentient being, of, living your life freely, of utilizing your spiritual modalities, that means that you absolutely have to let go, release, and leave behind the world. You have to leave behind those comforts. You have to restructure your life in a way where what you rely on is something that can never be removed from you, which means if it can never be removed from you, then that means that it lives within you. So no matter where you end up, you know that within you, you have everything that you need. And outside of you, your spiritual support system will always help, right? So right? So my Blanco. So yeah, leave the world behind and get to know Spirit. Get to know her, because she is so beautiful. She makes so much allowance and room for you to grow quickly and be excited and surprised in the process when you are not overwhelmed and married to an abnormal and ill-intended environment. In your home, you are a target of direct attack through your television, through radio waves, frequencies, through 5G, through microwaves, through the square geometric spaces in the house. Like that even does something to the circulation of your energy, because emitting energy is supposed to be round. And then when you are encapsulated inside of an area, that area is also supposed to be round, so it can be a mirror of the energy that you're emitting. It can bounce off of it and create a circulation, a flow of the same, so you get a buildup of your energy. That's why in temples and in churches and things, olden ones, they always have the sanctuary in a rounded space, even up in the rooftop. Is because it houses all of that energy that the people inside of it are emitting. And without you knowing it, those who know about energy manipulation absolutely utilize that energy that you emit during that time where you're quote unquote praising someone who you can't see. But the environment in which you reside, your home, puts you in direct, it puts you in a space to be easily manipulated. So considering leaving the world behind means taking an analysis of your own life outside of the analysis that we will provide, but just deciding to turn on your eye, your mind's eye, and look around and see how out of place you are as a spiritual being having a physical reality experience. and how important it is for your growth and evolution to be in an environment that supports you. Ugh. So the individual analysis is like a very in-depth consultation to allow us to show you who we see, what you're capable of, what type of environments are best suited for your spirit and mind, and so forth and so on. The things that we think that you will benefit from by removing from your life or including in your life, so forth and so on. After the consultation, which is my favorite part, we get into the intuitive creativity review. This is where I get to see your magic. I get to see what you're made of. I get to see your talents. I get to see the special parts about you. Along my journey of this analysis, this intuitive creativity review, I've met some beautiful beings. I've met some shapeshifters. I've met some crazy energy manipulators. I've met some beautiful readers. Like, they don't even have to know anything about you. They can just look into your eyes and give like a full reading. I can kind of do that, but I'm not as good as they are to be able to be telling what has all happened in your life down to the T. And that's like something special. So I get to see the special inside of you, right? And then you also get an opportunity to share with me the special parts of you that you believe that you have. Because the whole point of this is to find out what your authentic expression looks like. When you're not being called crazy, when you're not being called schizophrenic, when you're not in an environment that doesn't support you being special, where, you know, whatever the case may be, how would you be living? What would you be doing with your time if you're not at school, if you're not at work? You know, if it didn't cost money to house yourself and protect yourself from the weather, if it didn't cost money to eat, what would you be doing with your time? It's truly that simple. You know, what would you be doing? So that is how you can get a clear vision of what your authentic expression looks like. Because as someone who is awakened, as someone who is special, as someone who is a spiritual being, you have a responsibility, in fact, to authentically express. Don't you know, one of my favorite sayings, don't you know that you yourselves are temples of the Most High? Which means that the creator of everything, there is a derivative right inside of you. There is a special, unique portion of it inside of you that lives and wants to be freely expressed at every moment. So when the me, you know, the I versus the me, when the me subjects the body and the mind and the spirit to environments that don't allow for the Most High within you to be expressed freely and authentically, then that is almost like sin. You are in denial of self. You are rejecting the expression of self. And whenever you are not allowing for self to be expressed, then you are in opposition of the flow and evolution of life. Put the pieces together. If you are in opposition of the flow and evolution of life, then that means that you are in opposition of God. And if you are in opposition of God, then that means that you will be recycled. And that means that you are choosing not to participate in the evolution of life, in the growth of life. So that means that you need to be recycled and repurposed. You know, you can't really feel any kind of way. It's a collective effort. You know, we join hands and do this together. I give this analogy all the time. Imagine one of your fingers stopped allowing for the blood circulation. Your body would literally allow that finger to go limp and it would fall off because it's no longer in support of the body. So that's what happens. You are a part of the body. We are one. We may feel and look separate, but on a metaphysical level, we are absolutely connected. So if you are not in support of the whole, if you are not supporting the growth and evolution of the whole, then the body will allow you to fall off and be recycled, because life doesn't die. We don't die. Our bodies may expire, our physical bodies may expire, but we don't die. Our consciousness does not die. It is just returned to the source thereof and recycled, repositioned, re-implanted, On the live that I did yesterday, I talked about how there is a clear line of how the Akashic records, how our lifeline, how our energetic signature is able to be found within our blood because of the spirit being housed within every blood cell, which is what makes your blood sacred. So that's proof that you don't die. If you can send portions of your blood to a lab, and they can do readings on it to find out everywhere you've been, all of your lineages, everything that you have been, then that means that there is a consistent appearance of your spiritual being. Because right in the house, right in the nucleus of the blood cell is where that spark of life is, that energetic signature of life within you, that individual signature of source, the Most High within you. So I don't know if I've done it, but I don't know if you've ever given your uniqueness a name outside of the one that you were given by your parents. But if you do, it will allow you to have such a closer relationship with the divine within you, because you are sovereign. Sovereignty is ownership and expression of self through the authority of self. You have that right to decide for yourself, to act upon self, So give self a name. Yes, you were given a name through affection and intuitive, analysis of your physical body or what your parents may have perceived of you. But is that truly who you are? Get to know the God in you and give him a name. What is your name? Who are you? So within the intuitive creativity review, I get to know you're special, and we outline your special, and then we put your special on a list. Say there are like 7 to 10 different things, talents or things that you're passionate about that you want to start to authentically and freely express. We put them on a list, and then we go down that list and we prioritize them from the most interesting to, I could probably put this on the back burner. And the reason for doing this is because when you decide to allow for all of these areas to be expressed, they will require your energy. They will require your attention. And if you are not in a space where you can delineate your attention that much, then that means that adjustments need to be made. You have to be sovereign again. You have to be responsible of self to be able to observe what you can and cannot take on at the time. You have to be able to find balance within self, to say, hey, I love all of these parts of me, but these are the ones that need my attention right now, and these are the ones that I will pick up when my spirit is telling me to. Because what's going to happen is the third part of the development, which is after we have looked at your talents and your skill sets and your creative aspects, we're going to monetize them. We are going to put a $sign to them. Why? Why would we do that? Because this is how it works with energy and the universe. Think of the trees. The trees bear fruit. The trees emit oxygen. The trees provide shade. The trees provide housing. The trees provide food. They're giving. so many different ways, so many different ways. But how are they receiving? How do the trees receive? That's a real question. Greetings. How do the trees receive? McRib Jones, I'm over it. The roots, they allow the universe to satisfy them. They are like from us, from the earth. They just let the sun in. All of you guys are right. Absolutely. They receive through the sun. Yes, they're eating the sun. They also receive through the release of everything that is on top of the ground, because it is disintegrated. It is returned back to the dust and then gone back into the soil and is fed to the trees, right? They receive, or should be receiving, energetically appreciation through our hugs, right? Did you know that in ancient times, tree hugging was not something to be laughed at, but instead was a regular practice, because we understood that our ancestors were in fact trees. We understood and overstood that we were in fact trees, because trees are the first ones, the most wise. They spend the most time here. They have the most perceptive wisdom. What I mean by perceptive wisdom is when we are living our lives as the Most High, as individual aspects of the Most High, we are experiencing all of the things that come with being a human being. We're taking that experiential knowledge and we're logging it into our Akashic records, and we're logging it into the book of knowledge within the divine, within the whole, within the all. Trees have the longest lifelines. Before, I don't know if you guys have ever seen Avatar, but the earth used to look so very different. So instead of you thinking that a tree has the lifeline of 100 years, it was thousands of years in the same spot. So just imagine you are hundreds of feet wide, thousands of feet tall, in the same spot for possibly hundreds of thousands of years. What are you bearing witness to? What are you receiving from the ground? What are you receiving energetically from your surroundings? How much information are you receiving from the planetary bodies around the earth? What are you eating from the information in the rays of the sun? So that experiential knowledge is beyond what we can understand, right? So there becomes, the reason I brought that up, I needed to take it back. So there becomes, in our authentic expression, a requirement for equal exchange. We are not here on earth to just take and consume and experience without giving something back. With the same thought, we don't have to think about giving back as something laborious or taxing. Instead, it should just be automatic. So what that looks like is when you are authentically expressing, even if you didn't put a dollar sign to your talents, to your skill sets, you would still be receiving something back from the universe. That's the universe's way of supporting you and saying thank you, showing appreciation for you feeding the collective, the human consciousness, the earth. You're saying thank you. Every time you eat a fruit, you take a poop where you're supposed to be taking a poop. Those seeds within you do the work of delineating and releasing the flesh around the seeds to be able to make it easier for the ground to do its work to repopulate more. Thank you so much. How am I thanking you? By by creating electricity within your body because of what you've now consumed. And then at the same time, you're enjoying it because of the sweetness, because of the excitement, because of the physical satisfaction that you're receiving through every chew, because of the excitement of the colors. Every aspect, every part of the experience of eating a pawpaw, enriches your life, enriches your experience, your senses. So it continues to be, without you even realizing it, an equal exchange of appreciation in life. And you allow for there to be a continuation of the same paradise. This is a paradise realm. And we have been locked down. We have been imprisoned in a system that requires us to operate entirely outside of the paradise, the paradigm that we were given as an inheritance, right? This is not a prison planet or a place to suffer in learning. You don't have to suffer to learn. Those are misunderstandings because of the repetitive trauma that we're experiencing for hundreds and hundreds of years. People think that that's just the way that it goes. Not at all. This is paradise, which is why you are able to co-create with the Most High, which is why you're able to manifest your heaven on earth, because that's exactly what you have the ability to do, and this is the perfect place for it. What would be the point of you having the power to create your own reality if this is not your heaven space? It's like Roblox. Have you guys ever played Roblox? You get to do whatever the fuck. That's why kids spend all their time on there, because they can literally create their heavens within that realm. And that's what this place is for. It is already given to you freely, and it's so sweet. The pawpaw. So we put a $sign on your intuitive skill sets and your abilities and your offerings to the collective, so that you can receive back appreciation, so that you can receive monetary support to allow you to take care of yourself. Because right now the reality is that our food is locked up inside of grocery stores. The majority of us don't have clean and free access to agriculture. The reality is most of us are not making our own clothes. We don't have oil wells in our backyards. We don't know how to build a car. You understand what I'm saying? So right now you need money. You need some type of monetary support in order to allow you to function in this reality. But what happens is, and I'm going to go back because I still want to mention something about that, but what happens is, if we think about the scale again, if most of us are authentically expressing and we are in support of each other, then that means that ultimately, once we continue to practice what we're talking about, we will shift the requirements of how life has to be conducted. So the use of money, the requirement of money will completely change. Money is nothing but a form of exchange, a medium of exchange. Currency is something different. Currency doesn't have to show up in the form of coin or paper. Currency is something that emits from you naturally. Currency is a mirror of what happens with nature and water. That's a whole nother conversation. But it lives within you. It can absolutely be generated from within you, currency. So putting a $sign to your intuitive skill sets is to allow you to engage in commerce, to support yourself monetarily. Now, the beautiful part of what the Eve Restoration Network offers at the same time is to be able to equip you with the ability to offer the collective barter and trade. Barter and trade says, I love you and I still want you to be able to benefit from the things that I offer because they are of benefit to you. But if you don't have the money, Trade with me. What do you have? What can you do? So that way they're not closed off from being able to access their inheritance. You are their inheritance. I am your inheritance. I am you. You are me. We are mirrors of each other. I am the embodiment of something that is different from you, but you still have complete access to me because I love you and I'm in support of you. And the special things about me, I want you to have because I know that they are in your best interest. When I sit down with my clients, I can't wait to allow them to become comfortable with me so that I can pour into them, because it becomes my joy to see them awakened and start to feel love for themselves and start to be able to see how powerful and magical they absolutely are. That brings me joy. So bringing you joy brings me joy. That's confirmation that I am absolutely here for you, and then vice versa. So if we can embody that same type of mentality in spirit when we go out and share our authentic expression, then that means that nobody and nothing is cut off from all of the expansiveness of life. Are you getting this? Are you guys getting this? Man. I love it. Beautiful. So yeah. So let's start from the top. You come into the fold. You sit down for a consultation, and we do an in-depth individual analysis of all of the things that you are and the potential of all of the things that you can get into. Then we do an intuitive creativity review, where we look at all of the aspects of you that are special, that have room for evolution, and that can aid in restoring the earth and raising the human consciousness. And then we put a dollar sign on it. You put a dollar sign on it. That's the most beautiful thing. We don't tell you how much to charge. You, since now you understand your value, you decide how much you are worth and how much your time is worth and how much you want to receive monetarily for what you offer. You do that. You create your fee schedule and you go for it. The next phase is the branding and operational provisions. So now once you know who and what you are, now that you know your mission, your divine purpose, right? Ooh, hold on. The divine purpose. Let me get up for this. Earlier, I talked about the responsibility that you have as the Most High encased within a fleshly body. Your responsibility absolutely is to authentically express, because that is the requirement and the will and the desire of the Most High within you, right? But your purpose, your divine purpose, becomes all of the ways in which you have advanced the human collective and the earth. So throughout your entire life, every moment, if you could take a pencil and a journal and write down every moment in which you made someone smile, every moment in which you raised someone's consciousness, every moment in which you gave back to the earth when you received, that is how you identify your purpose. So when you are in authentic expression, you are in direct alignment with your yellow brick road. Your yellow brick road is, alignment. Your yellow brick road is the path that's specifically designed for you because of the design of the individual snowflake of whom you are, because of your individual energetic signature from the Most High within you. Is that making sense? So you're so special that there is no one else like you, even though you're a part of the all. But then also, in addition to that, there is a path laid out for you to follow or to allow yourself to flow into, because you are naturally, without thinking it, authentically expressing. And while you're authentically expressing, without you even realizing it, you are fulfilling your divine purpose, because your divine purpose is your authentic expression. The whole purpose of you is to be able to authentically express your individual design. It's like if I created a machine, the machine's purpose is to run the way in which I designed it, the way in which I created it, without question, right? And if there is a manual, it's because someone else wants to learn about the design of what has been created, not for you. All you have to do is flow naturally. That's how animals are born, and they can, just like that, hop into how they were designed and what they should be doing based off of their design. Instincts, right? It's the intelligence of the automatic knowing of your design. So the way that you get to know your automatic knowing of your design is by authentically expressing. Do what you desire. Whatever you think, whatever you feel, whatever you want, go for it. Even if you are afraid of how it may come out because you have not become comfortable. Because you have not become comfortable with the yin and yang of life, meaning there may be a little bit of darkness mixed into your authentic expression. Do you anyway. Whatever you were designed to be and do is none of my business. That is between you and the Most High within you. And it is your job to give honor to that. And however life decides to support you or recycle you is for you to honor. That's really how it is. So, your divine purpose. Let me pick this up. I'll put this. I'm trying to find like a comfortable space. Okay, so the individual analysis, the intuitive creativity review, the income state and potential, basically when we're putting money marks on your skill sets and things, and then the branding and operational provision. That's where I was. So branding, the branding is fun, just like how I was saying that it's important for you to give a name to the Most High within you. The branding is for you to give a name for the commerce, for commerce. How do you want to be recognized and called upon within commerce? How do you want to put all of your assets underneath an umbrella, and what do you want that umbrella to be named? Because you are a multifaceted creative. That's what you find out when you do your intuitive creativity review. There are multiple things that you are naturally good at. There are multiple things that you are passionate about. So you don't have to go to college for years upon years to get a certification from somebody else that is not the Most High within you, that has already authorized you to do what you need to do, right? You just do it. You just are. You are an author. You are a dancer. You are a singer. You are an architect, so forth and so on. Now, you master that over time through experiential knowledge, through learning, but you are what you are, right? So you take all that you are and you put it underneath an umbrella and you give it a name. How do you want it to be referenced? There should be a difference between the name that you give the Most High within you and the name that you allow randoms to call upon you for the services that you offer to the collective, because you have to keep in mind that not everybody outside of you is in tune with themselves. Not everybody outside of you is in tune with the God within them. So their intent, their energetic intent, may not be good all the time. There may be ill intent sometimes. So you don't want that energy calling upon the Most High within you. That's a sacred space. Don't you know that ye yourselves are temples? If there is a temple, then that means that there is a sanctuary. And within that sanctuary is where the Most High resides. So you don't want anybody having access to your sanctuary. That's why I didn't share the name of the Most High within me with you guys, right? Because this is like open access to the world, and not everybody is allowed within my sanctuary. It's a beautiful thing to be able to share the truths of the sovereignty of the Most High within you with others. You know, that's how you become one, when you really know yourself. So branding is about putting a colorful name and picture on all that you want to offer to the collective, because your interest is raising the consciousness of the human collective, is restoring the earth and co-creating heavens upon it. That is your interest. So that's what branding is about. And then the operational provisions. Beautiful thing, not everybody knows, not everybody is tech savvy, not everybody knows how to market, how to effectively brand. And the network has partners, has other multifaceted creatives within it that offer that to the collective. So now, not only have you identified all of the beautiful things that you are, but you're teaming up with others that will support you in being able to offer you the operational provisions that you need in order to operate outside. The same way that you see these multi-billion-dollar brands like Walmart and things operating, that's because their chairmen and those that sit around them on that big table all know what they're doing. Why do you deserve the same thing? You deserve more, in fact, right? Because you're not populating a bunch of shit that's going to harm the earth. You're in fact helping. So you deserve what comes in line first. So the multifaceted creators within the Eve Restoration Network are there to give you what you need so that you can start operating and start collecting your coins and start giving back and start living your life, living the fulfillment of your divine purpose, living your happiness, co-creating your heaven on earth. So provisions looks like a website where you can house and market all of your skill sets. It looks like third-party operations to be able to receive your coins, right? Because sometimes you may not be within the US. This is an international thing. You may need to learn how to set yourself up to receive multiple forms of currencies and so forth and so on. Content, social media content, being able to properly phrase and catch the interest of others because of the wording that you have on your website or how you've paraphrased what you do. All of these things help you in being able to advertise the beautiful aspects of you to the rest of the world. There will always be, on yesterday's live, I talked about this a little bit, but I'll mention it now because it's, again, relevant. There will always be everything everywhere in everything everywhere and all at once. There will always be a space within our reality that's etched out for every form of consciousness. So if there is a consciousness that is not necessarily awakened to itself, they all reside with themselves. Birds of a feather flock together. If there is a space within the consciousness that is etched out for people who are sick, whatever the case may be, there is space for everything to reside. So there is a need sometimes. Sometimes there is a need for you to do the thinking for people, because not everybody is thinking for themselves. So when you think about marketing yourself, when you think about putting yourself out there for people to engage with you within commerce so you can get your coins and support yourself, sometimes you have to set yourself up in a way through your branding that does the thinking for them. Right? And then those who do have self-awareness and those who do have intellect will look at what you have done and high five you because, you know, what's understood don't need to be explained. Real recognize real. Well done kind of thing, you know, and then you hail in that energy together. But don't think that just because you've come into a spiritual place, a place of self-awareness and a place of self-mastery, where now you don't have to dumb down or make palatable what you do to different forms of consciousness, because you absolutely do cater to everyone. The tree is not biased to whom it offers shade to. Everyone, no matter where they are, no matter how old they are, no matter what form of whatever, they can go and receive the same type of offering. That's a beautiful thing in the variety of how we perceive and experience life. It's like the same coding within the matrix can be perceived and experienced with differently depending upon the being that is there with it. Like, this stuff will blow your mind. It blows your mind when you exit, when you get out of the matrix, when you get out of the cycle of chaos and confusion. You start to see so many things around you and the varieties of ways in which you can engage with it. You start to see the expansiveness within you. Ugh. It's like death. Now that I know that I cannot die, I mean, my fleshly body will absolutely expire, which makes me sad because I think she's just absolutely beautiful. Like, I like her. She's cute. I've been so many different things, but like, you're giving, girl, so obviously I feel some kind of way about my physical body expiring. But when I am threatened, when my life is threatened, I'm not afraid because I know that I'm not going nowhere. I'll see you again. I'm going to show up again. Justice will be served. The Most High will make sure that karma makes its way back around and you will recognize my energetic signature, sir. You understand? You're not going anywhere. So it frees me from so many things that may have scared me or may have held me hostage in the past, because now I know the expansiveness of all that I am and all that I can be. I know the truth of my origin. I don't have to think about my nationality or my ethnicity. That's just a variation of the expansiveness of who I am. It's not, the identifying mark. So your branding and your operational provision is an entire phase of the purpose development program that you would be engaging in. And all it is there to do is to set you up so that all you have to do is press and play. You have your websites, you have your legal paperwork, you have your ways of getting in contact with you, you have your automatic responses, you have your network to be able to bounce resources off of just in case you need something new, because you will evolve, you will grow, right? You also have a network to be able to refer others to, just in case you can't necessarily offer something that they're asking for. Like, there's so much that you'll be able to benefit from the operational provisions. And then once you get to a place where you can press and play, then just by giving back, you encourage others to do the same. Hey, are you tired of your 9 to 5? Are you tired of working, clocking in for corporate America and not receiving what you're worth? Not being able to wake up and do what your heart desires? Come over here. Let us help you. Let me show you the way. I can show you the world. Okay? This is absolutely a magical place, guys. We need to realize the magic is real. We are the magic. Just a knock of the heels, right? Going within, getting in touch with your energetic powers and your energetic manipulation tactics, feeling the elements of life within you, the fire, the earth, the air, the water, allowing the intelligence of your spirit to guide your physical modalities, being able to shapeshift, being able to commune with things without words, right? All of these things are at your disposal. This is heaven, and you get to customize it. All you have to do is let go of everything that keeps you from doing that. And that's the most uncomfortable aspect of all of this, letting go of what we're used to, because it's scary. How will I eat? Where will I go? Where would I live if I'm not paying my bills? This is going to take time. Yada, yada. Don't you know that ye yourselves are temples of the Most High, you think the Most High is not going to take care of itself? I know you guys have seen testimonials of people saying, I have been given everything that I need every single day. That's because the only thing that you have to worry about, your only allotment is today. There is only today. Tomorrow does not exist because tomorrow becomes today. We have created separations between time. Yesterday is dead. Its history is coded within your experiential knowledge, but yesterday cannot be returned to, and tomorrow will never come because it's today. So all you have to do is focus your attention on today and be thankful for your portion today, because it will absolutely come. Don't you know that ye yourselves are temples of the Most High? I am standing witness of it. It is absolutely uncomfortable to release everything. It's like dying and being reborn again. Absolutely. Because the way that you think has to shift. What you consume has to shift. Where you abide has to shift. Whom you abide with has to shift. The close connections and contracts that you've made need to be rewritten, need to be redone. The way in which you see your abilities and your everything has to change. It is absolutely a process, but it's worthwhile, and it's always there at your disposal to choose until it's not. You don't want to be recycled because you weren't fulfilling your divine purpose, because you weren't authentically expressing, because you weren't giving back to the life that's being fed to you. Come now. Come now. That's a good one. Toxic growth modalities, parasites, etc., tend to render their hosts no longer able to support them. I'm telling you, it will eat you over time. That is your opposition, a silent killer, an unseen enemy. I am going on a fast right now. I'm going to start with 3 days, and then I'm going to work my way up to 7, and my ultimate is 21. Because even though I consider myself to be somewhat healthy, I can still see how parts of my body are not able to kick in gear because of what I'm consuming and because of like the environment that has rendered itself to me. So yeah. And this should be done regularly. Like, you know how they pull fish and things out of the water and you find parasites on them? I don't think that the fish are doing anything in particular to receive the parasites. I think that they have just been in the wrong place at the wrong time and were thus subjected to an enemy, opposition of their life force. You know, so I say that to say, us caring for ourselves and ridding of the things that want to take hold of our life force should be a regular practice. You know, this is absolutely a beautiful place, but there is opposition, especially if you are a spiritual being, especially if you are engaged with the metaphysics of life, especially if you are speaking the truth. You will absolutely receive opposition. So you have to do spiritual work. You have to cleanse spiritually. You have to cleanse physically, mentally, all of those things in order to ensure that when you are authentically expressing, you are not poisoning at the same time yourself or others or your environment, you know, due to your blindness. Because we can find ourselves blind, we can be blind to our own toxicity. Especially if you have children. Having children is such a divine responsibility. It's such a divine responsibility because it's not our job to shape them. It's our job to care for them while the divine is shaping itself through them. And what happens is we think that we're supposed to be shaping them. And then when they don't follow suit, our toxicity bleeds out of us and onto them. And then we become a parasite to their growth. And trust me, that karma comes back around. And then if it's not dealt with, they learn how to become parasites to the ones that they bear life to. Generational curses. That's what that is. So yeah. Absolutely. Oh, I was hoping to, I'm going to talk about love. Let me wrap up. I'm going to plug up my phone because my phone is dying, supposedly. And then we're going to wrap up, and then I'm going to get into love. And then after love, I'm going to do this oracle reading for you guys, this collective reading. A whole new world, a dazzling place I never knew. They give you the answers right in your face. What's my favorite thing about myself? My mind. I love my mind. I can hold conversation. And I love to get real deep and metaphysical and studious about things. I'm very philosophical. I'm very book oriented, but still spiritually founded, which creates so much room for the books to be rewritten. It's like if I am the Most High and my intuition guides me to truths that contradict what's in books, then that means that I have the authority to challenge the books. And through conversation with others who are mirrors, spiritual like-minded mirrors, where two or more are gathered, there I am. We can co-create and agree that maybe the book does not have it correct. That is such an exciting place to be. And for my mind to be able to take in so much information, dissect it, see its inner workings, and release it in a way that's understood and digestible to others. I think that there's such a beautiful talent. So that is absolutely my favorite thing about myself. Thank you for the question. Ooh, I'm about to get into love, girl. About to get into love. I am not old. I'm going through these comments real quick before we shift. They will absolutely get embarrassed every time because the Most High wins every battle. The Most High is humorous and likes entertainment. So it will absolutely let you run around like a chicken with your head cut off just so that it has something to look at and laugh at. But at the end of the day, you are absolutely dinner. Stupid, crazy views, huh? Thank you. Individual granules of salt arranging themselves according to the vibration of the plate below them. That's what I'm talking about. That's beautiful. So the truth of what you've said is beautiful for sure, but the way that you've worded it, right? That is what I love. How you can word a concept to not only allow for it to be understood, easily digestible, but also enjoyable at the same time, right? And then you didn't even have to say so much. Oh, that's talent. Individual gradules of salt, right? That in itself says so much because it reminds you that you are the salt of the earth, right? Salt, cleansing properties, healing properties, enhances everything. Crystalline. What? Something that's crystalline. Talk about the manipulation of light and life. The possibilities, right? So that's you. One granule. Arranging themselves. They're working together. They're co-creating and existing together for a grandiose purpose. Bigger than themselves. They come together, arranging themselves according to the vibration of the plate below them. So the foundation of how they operate is they are allowing for the authentic expression of the foundation of how they operate to take control of how they formulate themselves. What? That's what I'm talking about. That's what I love. That is what I love. It's a superpower. Wait, let me catch up, and then we're gonna finish and then get into love. Please speak on. I'm getting there, girl. Okay. How are you? No, young. What's your deal? It's a bit deep. Yeah, I walked in the garden in the cool of the day. You're making fun. Needed your refreshing energy tonight. Cherry on top of it. Oh, so glad. Poetic palette. Soon everything changes. Okay. Awesome. All right. So, as a wrap up, I am Story Lawes, the head operations manager for the Eve Restoration Network, and it is my absolute pleasure to assist you in your purpose development. And whenever you are ready to make that transition, to make that shift out of the imprisonment of the matrix and to start living your divine purpose and experiencing the magic of life, we is here. Love. Music Soul Child of Keisha Cole, because that's two different hits. Love. So I will not profess to know the expansiveness and the truths of love entirely. I will not. However, I am a Cancer. That's my sun sign, depending on who you ask, because there are different charts, right? There's the sidereal, there's the tropical, and then there's also another where like the numbers are very different, which makes me a Leo. But I have felt and resonated with the majority of my life, my sun being a Cancer. Cancer is the mother energy, but she's also the lover baby, okay? So I love me some love. What? My favorite kind of movies are Bollywoods, where like it is extremely over the top magical and people are just Cancer. People are just, it's so magical. It's like, you understand what Disney has nothing on Bollywood. Let's just put it like that. So I have spent my entire life. Remember, I am very philosophical. I'm very studious. I'm very observant. So most of my relationships were in an effort to gather information to find the truths of what I was experiencing, so that way I could love in truth, because I have been through the pains of loving in a lie. Again, for the experiential knowledge, I have placed myself intentionally in situations where I absolutely needed to find out the truth of what I was experiencing so that I could identify the truth from the lie, to see if, in fact, the magic of love was something attainable. So again, I will not profess to know everything that there is about love and its expansiveness and its truths, but I will absolutely share with you what I have gathered and how I am moving forward with that information. I'm trying to find a good spot because these lights are bothering me. Okay, this will do, I guess. Yeah, we'll kind of tip it to the wall. All right, so if you're a guy, right, and the mushy shushy stuff is not your tip, thank you so much for hanging out. Don't feel obligated to stick around. I will be back tomorrow with more of the philosophical, spiritual stuff. Okay? We're about to get into the mushies. What are y'all talking about when Jesus died and rose on the third day? You're talking about the book of allegory? You're talking about the mirror of what happens within the human body, depicting the Christ consciousness and how it moves through the evolution of your experiences? Is that what you're talking about? Let me leave y'all alone. Let's get back to this love thing. I do not want to be distracted by y'all's mess. Cut it out. All right. So, I love romance and love. I can't wait to talk about this. So, I'm gonna just turn it down. I wish I could unsee the comments. I have not gotten that tech savvy with TikTok yet. Okay. Love. So, men and women are different species. They are not the same biochemically. They are not the same physically. They are not the same mentally. They are not the same spiritually. We are different. We are different. You know, when we were kids, there used to be like a jingle or like a hand playing game. Boys go to Jupiter to get more stupider. Girls go to college to get more knowledge. Basically, there were like different things basically saying that boys and girls are from different planets. We truly are. We are not the same. But we can co-create life together, which is the beautiful thing about it. So, understanding that as a foundation of love is so important, because that means that how love is understood will be different for each person. How love is understood will be different for each being. How love is expressed will be different for each being. How love is expected to be experienced will be different for each being. Which is why men and women, say that they'll never understand each other, because you can't. We're not the same. And without exchanging our expectations, without exchanging our perspective on the matter of love, we engage in love making, we engage in marriage, we engage in creating lifelong contracts with each other. So That becomes our faulty. From a woman's perspective, because that's what I am, from a woman's perspective, for a long time, for the longest time, I have desired for the love that I experience with my partner, with my male partner, to be a mirror of the love, of the equal exchange in love and intimacy that I have with the Most High. Let me explain. The Most High will not forsake me. The Most High will not leave me. The Most High will not betray my trust. The Most High will not lie to me. The Most High will make room and time for my emotional expression. The Most High will feed my mind freely. The Most High will protect me without question every time. The Most High will allow me to bathe in my femininity safely. The Most High will provide divine protection, provision, and guidance for me at all times. And we have been conditioned as women to believe that that same type of energy is supposed to come from our male partners. And that's not the case. Because that is not how men interpret and experience love. From what I have gathered, okay, because I'm not a man, but the men that are in here, please feel free to speak up if I speak in vain. What I have gathered from my experiences and from my observations when it comes to men and love is that love to them means care. It is a very deep and very loyal form of care. Action, care and action. Because they deeply care for you, they love you. Because they deeply care for you, they are loyal to you. Because they deeply care for you, they will provide and protect for you. Right? But the automatic willingness and the automatic allowance for all of the other things that I mentioned that women expect, men don't naturally have the modality to provide. They don't have automatically the attention span to allow us to just emotionally and verbally emote hours upon hours, as if we are sharing a meditative space. That's not their thing. They don't have the automatic interest to be able to see the variations in color tones to enjoy the beauties that each one provides, which is why when it comes to planning a wedding, they let us do that. Do the thing. I know this is for you, right? So, but as women, we want to share that, don't we? We want to go to the cake tasting with our men. We want to pick out the different colors in the dresses with our men. We want to have them walk with us through each phase. But what's happening is we're expecting for them to be what they are not. They are not designed that way to see, experience, and engage with love and care that way. They are very intentional and dutiful. Intentional and dutiful. If I make a promise to you, if I commit to you because I deeply care about you and because I respect you, you can guarantee that I will continue to show up for you in the ways that I have promised, and I will be consistent in doing so. That is amen. Romance in love is a different category of an experience. Men can absolutely be romantic. Men can absolutely show care in the things that women are naturally drawn to. But the romance, I'll speak about romance from a woman's perspective first before I get into the romance from a man. So romance for a woman, because I'm a woman, yeah, I'm gonna get to that. I see these. So after I say this, I'm gonna get to these comments because I know. All right, so romance for a woman, right, is again the expectation or the desire for the ultimate dance. The ultimate dance. You know, like the culmination of a dance for a woman is when she's spun around, right? That last, and then the dip, oh, that is romance. So if you can take me on an experience where I am feeling an alignment to the ultimate dance, you have my heart, you have my emotions, you have my mind, you have my attention. I'm locked in because this is giving and we are not even intimate right now. That is romance for a woman, right? But at the same time, women feel like that type of romance is, I want to say this the right way. Women feel like that type of romance is innate to the male expression. It's not. It's not. It should not be expected. It should not be thought to be how they typically get down. For men, that type of romantic engagement is a part of the game, a part of the game, and not in a negative way, because men are hunters, right? It's their enjoyment to be able to do all they can to get your attention, all they can to get your cookie, all they can to get your affection and your loyalty and your time and your reproductive magical powers, right? To reproduce the almighty man that they are. If they can do that, then they have succeeded. And if they can lock that down, then they are the all-star of the men, right? So romance and the aspects in which romance are expressed is a tool on the belt of a man. It is not instinct. It is not automatic expression like it is depicted in the Disney films, where every man is a Prince Charming and he knows exactly how to continue to. No, that's why there's an ending to the movie. They have to say, and they lived happily ever after, making us think that the romantic aspect, that divine dance, is continuing to happen. Not at all. Not at all. No. So I have found that when women become intimate with the Most High first, then their expectations of the type of dance that they want to have with the men raises the bar for how the men show up in the woman's life. And that in itself, that play between the man and the woman, is what creates that excitement, is what creates that appreciation, that passion, that longevity, that respect for how you get down, because you're not easy gain anymore. Now you are constantly intriguing, because a man will never be able to reach the level of the Most High. You can't reach God. Women are the fundamental space for creativity. So in our minds, in our imaginative space, we are thinking of the most elaborate dance moves. Do you know how much practice and time a man will have to put in order to dance with you? You want to talk about longevity and locking something down? Get to know the Most High, girl. Love you. Figure out how freaking sexy and beautiful you are and how much you are worth, and then be extremely creative about the type of way in which you want to engage with romance with a man. And that will be the excitement of the love that you share with the opposite species, because you will absolutely keep their attention. They will absolutely be coming back trying to get these steps in order. What? Trying to catch you because you want to run. Let me get to these comments because I want to address some of this stuff now. Now that I've covered the basics of it, let me dive in with y'all a little bit. We are absolutely both human, yes, but we are not the same type of human. How do we protect our Most High from? And if you have commentary or question about anything I just shared, put it in the comments because I'm going to go through these really quickly and respond to them. How do we protect our Most High from negative outside energies? How do we protect our Most High from negative outside energies? Well, you have to remember that the Most High is within you, but the fleshly body, the me, controls, right? There's a difference between the I and the me. The I is the Most High. The me is the avatar. And sometimes, because the me has its own form of sovereignty, the me will subject the I to things that are not in the best interest of the I. For example, putting yourself in certain situations, putting yourself in certain environments, subjecting your body to certain foods or vices that are not in your best interest. All of these things can weaken the security that you naturally have around you. Everybody has an energetic Merkaba and bubble of energy to protect themselves, so that an alarm goes off through your intuition when something that is not in your best interest comes in close proximity. You naturally have that. But if you've created an environment within your physical body, which is the temple of the Most High, where your alarm systems are now dimmed and the volume is turned down, or you're now blind to what you're experiencing because of what you have subjected yourself to when it comes to knowledge about the truths and the lies of life, then, being able to protect the Most High within you just becomes more difficult. That's why it's so important to isolate yourself, at least in this reality that we're experiencing right now. Isolate yourself for a while to be able to go within very deep to figure out the truths of who and what you are and what you're made of and what is and is not in your best interest, and then how to outwardly express the authority of that. So I hope that answers your question. Can we meet someone in the middle? I don't know what you mean by that. What you're saying is beautiful. Definitely resonate. I absolutely understand. I'm so grateful. Men usually don't know how to love because their fathers never taught them what healthy love looks like. I think fathers play a very important role in teaching the action of how men understand and express love to their children. Absolutely. But more importantly, I think that it becomes the male responsibility, especially a father, to encourage a man not to deceive a woman within the expectations of love. Because a lot of times you guys enjoy the game so much that you take advantage of the fact that she may be misunderstanding about the aspects of how y'all get down with love, because it makes her a more vulnerable target. And some men like a deer in an open field. Some men like it easy. You know, not all men are courageous and ready to put up that fight, to learn those steps, to put in the time, to become the almighty man, the Hercules. You know, it takes strength and grit to be honorable and to be sexy. And not all men have that. So I encourage the importance of fathers to express the strength of being truthful about how men understand and express love to women. You are suggesting that a man's love is different from a female's love? Yes. Everyone has a different love language, so the way they express it is different and unique. Agreed. Love languages are different from the foundational aspects of love, how it's perceived via the difference between a man and a woman. Because even the way in which you understand a love language will be different. For example, for a woman, with how I explain women understand love and kind of expect love. If you read to them the love languages and they pick one out, that expectation, the one that they chose, will still be founded upon their understandings of what love is and how it should be expressed. Same for men. I really hope this is making sense. Expectations are predetermined resentments. That's why we must communicate. I understand what you're saying, but I cannot completely agree because of the wording. That's why I said I understand what you're saying. But every expectation is not necessarily a predetermined resentment. If I know the functionality of a stove, I'm going to expect for it to turn on and provide flame when I flick the switch. So there's nothing wrong with my expectation. There's no resentment inside of my expectation for something to work in the way in which it was designed. The problem is we don't have the right information about the design of what we're working with. So our expectations are out of alignment. And then we start to improperly expect certain things. And then we become resentful when we don't receive what we respect or expect. You are generalizing, which is unfair. Elaborate. Thank you so much. What men have you been exposed to? All calibers of men. Rich men, poor men, black men, white men, Asian men, young men, old men, healed men, broken men, emotionally available men, emotionally detached men, physically abusive men, very caring and affectionate men, all kinds of men. Like I said, I'm a lover at heart, from a very, very young age, it has been my duty to find out what I'm working with because I want that ultimate dance, okay? I know what my ultimate dance looks like now, and I need it. And I am willing to show you the steps if you're willing to learn them, okay? So, yeah. And then also, because I grew up like a town boy, I was able to commune with guys, not like the other girls. It wasn't girls and then guys over here, guys over there. Nah, I was sitting at the table with y'all. So I heard the conversations, I heard how y'all get down, how y'all talk about stuff, how y'all busy yourselves in your free time, about what you be doing, how you feel, all of that stuff. So I got a lot of backstage experience and information to be able to add to my data. When someone is very engaged, they will attempt to do some of these things. Exactly. Very engaged, they will attempt to do some. So that means that the majority of the men that are out there need to be so very engaged with the type of woman that you are to even attempt to do this dance with you. Not even the whole dance. They may just do the intro, right? Just to see if the intro will be enough to be able to gain access to the deer, gain access to the goal. Because, you know, everybody has their own level of satisfaction. It varies from men to men. Most cannot be with one woman. This is the comment that I wanted to speak on. It varies from men to men. Most cannot be with one woman. We may stay with one because of our something in spiritual and philosophical dogmas. Okay. True. Most men, and again, this is proof to what I was saying about how love is understood, digested, and expressed differently from a man to a woman. Women feel betrayed when men give their affection and their body to other women, because women are expecting their relationship with the man to be a mirror of their relationship with the Most High. Again, the Most High will never betray me. The Most High will never share my intimate spaces. Most High understands the beauty and the sacredness of my temple. The Most High wants to safeguard everything that I am and keep it between us. The Most High will always want, you understand what I'm saying? So when we look at men and we get in romantic relationships or intimate or emotional relationships with them, we start to expect them to behave in the same manner, and that's not the case. They naturally have an affinity towards women. Women are beautiful things. Women are beautiful beings, and women will constantly and always be an attractive energy. Like, what? You mean to tell me I can only have one candy my entire life? Look at the varieties, all of the flavors. I can only have one? That sounds selfish as hell. This is the mind of a man. What are you talking about? I will show my absolute appreciation for this one candy. Every time I have this candy, I will give it praises because it is so fucking good. But do not tell me I cannot have that one over there as well, because that one is banging. Okay? The way in which men understand and express love is completely different from the way women understand and expect and express love. So yes, men, a lot of men, I don't want to say the majority, but a lot of men want to enjoy the variety and the pleasures of life. And there are so many varieties and pleasures of women, and they feel as though they can provide the man of themselves to each one of them. It may not be equally, right? He may have his favorite, but he can still, in his mind, give an adequate amount of man to each woman. We are notifying, okay, it's absolutely a natural thing. That's just in the movies. Take your time. I agree. We live in interesting times. The dynamics of human relationships are changing. They absolutely are, which I'm so happy for, because a lot of men now, I'm seeing a lot of men now become more in tune with the Most High within them. And then they start to have like a expansive appreciation for their body. And then they don't want to go poking any and everything. They want to be treated with like care and, appreciation and, clean intimacy and intentionality, which means a more monogamous relationship. Not necessarily completely, but more intentional about it. Less all over the place, less spread out, because he has more value for the value that he has within himself. So yeah, I agree. The dynamics of human relationships are changing. And this is a great thing for women, because now like you're expectations can be a little closer to our highest hopes. It's reciprocal. Expound on that. What parts of it do you see to be a necessary reciprocation, so that I can agree and whatnot? Oh man, so many comments. So many comments. Wait for me. We're gonna get through them if you have patience. Wow, you guys are like really feeding these comments. Okay, wait, let me find. Okay, there it is. We live. Yep. Okay. Do you mean to say your name is... Okay, I don't know what that is. You got my attention. Okay, let's say one was to become one with the Most High. How would they behave towards women? That's a great question. So, that's a great question. Okay, so becoming one with the Most High means understanding that the Most High is both male and female, right? So while you are getting to know and while you are creating intimacy between you and the Most High, you are simultaneously learning about the energies and the expressions of both the male and female aspects of the Most High, right? Naturally, because the male and female expression of the Most High is within you. You have a female and male dynamic, energetic housing. Your left hemisphere is entirely feminine, and your right hemisphere is entirely masculine, right? And they both play a part in your life. Because you are predominantly male, I'm guessing by your question, because you are predominantly male, then the majority of your expression will embody the masculine energy. However, that does not take away from the involvement of the feminine energy in what you do, because that feminine energy shows up in creativity, it shows up in imaginative spaces, it shows up in patience, in resource, in intuition, so many different things. And then it is trickled and digested through your masculine and then expressed through your masculine. So while you're getting to know the Most High, you are also getting to know the divine feminine aspect of the Most High. And when you start to get to know that, you build an appreciation for it. You build a recognition for it. So when you see it inside of a woman, you automatically have appreciation for it, because you see the God, you see the feminine, the divine femininity in her. You see how she's able to gracefully embody the divine feminine aspect of the Most High. You see how she carries her imaginative space in balance, while also taking in consideration the reality and logic of the experience that she's having within this realm. You understand? So when you know what the Most High's feminine aspects look like, you will not only recognize it within the women that you meet outside of you, but then you'll also be able to develop a respect and appreciation for them. So how you engage with them will automatically change without you even really noticing it. What you call them, how you invite them into your space, how you hold space of intimacy, all of those things will change, because you are holding respect for the entire aspect of who you are. And the entire aspect of who you are, again, is divine masculine and feminine. So I hope that answered your question. The basic needs of both species are the same. We all want attention, love, and want a functional relationship. No, they are not the exact same. We do want attention, we do want love, and we do want a functional relationship, but those are not the energies of the basic needs of both the species, which is why harmony between the two is created when each one is properly embodying who they are, because they are automatically falling into the spaces in which they support each other. For again, the dance, for example, the dance. In order for a woman to safely dance, her ultimate twirl, she needs a male partner to protect the perimeter of her twirl, to ensure that no one tries to impede the process of that. She needs that reassurance outside of her so that she knows that she can continue her dance, so forth and so on. So each one plays a different part within the harmony of a relationship, which means that the basic needs of each one will automatically be different, because the needs need to feed the fulfillment of the part that they have to play within that harmonious relationship. So if they're both playing the same role, well then yeah, what they take in will be the same. But because they're not playing the same role, then what they need to take in will automatically be different. Even though you will find similarities between the two, the way in which attention looks like for a man is different from the way attention looks for a woman. For example, how many times have we gone onto social media and seen the dynamic between a man and a woman? The guy is playing his video game and the woman is trying to sit on his lap or his face while he's doing so. It's because her form of attention that she requires and desires is different from what he's expecting as far as attention is concerned. What he wants is a kiss on the forehead, maybe some quick head while he's taking down like an army of people on the video game, and a sandwich. That's his form of attention. Whereas she wants that teddy bear hug, assload of kisses, conversation between you and her while you're playing the video game, and then an invitation to go and get something to eat as soon as y'all are done. It's very different. So yes, even though the fundamentals of the attention is there, the way in which it's expected and expressed is different. You should be modeling and making billions. That's so kind. I am getting into modeling. I've kept myself out of it for so long because I didn't appreciate the industry, and I didn't, again, want to subject my Most High to that space, to possibly be infiltrated with foolishness, because we live in a crazy world, and the people who pay the billions have expectations that I do not agree with. So for the longest time, I have intentionally kept myself out of that space. But now, because I have become so much more sovereign and capable of handling and protecting my Most High, I know how to contract, and I know how to place myself to be able to benefit from the beauties that lie within all of this. So thank you. My husband and I have a different love language, and we struggle to meet in the middle. I think the struggle that you're experiencing is a struggle in communication, because the minute a man knows how to please you, he will dive deep into doing so because it is his pleasure to please you. So I would consider, I'm also a metaphysician and a family and couples coach. So if you would like to sit down with me, my divine, and do a quick session so that I can clear up the communication errors that you guys are experiencing, consider. But I do believe it's a communication thing. I agree, both male and female are this. Okay. After communicating our expectations, things got... Oh, exactly. See? I know what I'm talking about, girl. She ain't saying nothing wrong. She's saying something with ill intent pray. For sure. Your beauty caught my eye, but your language caught my eye. Oh, thank you. Period. Their minds aren't in the right place. How old are you, may I ask? James Ellis. I don't like giving my age, because the minute a man knows your age, he starts to rearrange how he wants to approach you, and starts to recalculate your value in the grand scheme of things because of how men value women. I understand that, and I don't want to become subjected to the stereotypes of your mind. I want you to just intrinsically see the value that I possess and the possibilities of the experiences that you can have with me because of what I offer energetically, and go from there. So I will not be sharing my age. Do you have a man? I do not. I am still waiting for someone to sign up to learn these steps. I think you have to be a good listener, observer, and do your best in bringing happiness. Agreed. I like how you put that, definitely willing to learn the steps. Exactly. I am 66 years old, born August 7th, 1958. A Leo, 20 years military, Army retired. A Sergeant Major, 33rd. So you're here intentionally is what you're saying. I'm telling you, communication, when you spend enough time with men, you are able to observe exactly what they're saying. This is so fun. Look, I said it again. James Ellis, 66, 20 military, Army retired. 33rd degree. I already know. Listen. Hello. True. Gotta say I'm a real dude, but I hear you. Hey, listen. Do you. There is a place and space etched out within this reality specifically for you. And it is your responsibility to honor everything that you are, even within your evolution. There is grace held and peace available for that. So do you, my love. But then they don't like women with a high body count, which they helped get her there. It's absurd. Well, remember, there are so many different candies. You know? So that's why men will say, well, you just chose wrong. Because it was your choice. Even though you may have been lied to, even though you may have been emotionally manipulated, you still opened your legs. You still allowed for the exchange. And that type of experience does something to the psyche of the woman, and that type of experience does something to the quality of the candy. This is coming from the mind of a man, right? So even though as a woman you will always have value to this experience on earth and to the nurturing necessity of mankind, the type of candy that you are changes entirely. And they have every right to be able to pick and choose what they want to take, what they want to accept. That's why earlier I said it becomes so much more honorable for men to teach their sons not to deceive women about the expectations of love and how they are expressed through a man, so that women don't feel manipulated and lied to, so that they know what they're getting into, so that they understand that it is entirely a catch me if you can. You know, that's the fun. So yeah, my love, it's unfortunate, but it is what it is. Our society has endorsed monogamy. Any other lifestyle is frowned upon. Monogamy is a play on the ignorance of the woman about love and men, but then also it is a tool for the elites to use to control the men that they utilize within the frameworks of our world. You are, as men, you are the executors of everything that they want to get done through the people for their own intent. So in order to keep you fed and satisfied and continuing to execute their intentions without complaint, they need to give you what you need, which is a woman. They need to be able to instill within the mind a woman being of access to you every time you come home. They need to instill within the mind of a woman that it is her responsibility to be of servitude to her man and to give him meals, right? So not only are you being fed, you're being slopped, you're getting the haktua, you also get to reproduce, you're making the most money, you're being satisfied. So when you are commissioned as the executing energy, as the man by the elites, you have no complaints. So monogamy has multiple intentional uses. I still think that it can find a harmonious space, though, because there is a space etched out for everything within this realm. So some men do desire monogamous relationships. It may be a very small number, and it may be because of their experiences through non-monogamous relationships, whatever the case may be. But there is a harmonious space available to men who want monogamous relationships. But I don't think that the idea of all of the other ways in which men can be in relationship with women should be demonized either. Because again, I don't want you to operate outside of your nature. And if your nature wants to enjoy the pleasures of all the varieties of candy, do you, right? I just won't be over there. That's just how you get down, So, and there are some women who want that, who are okay with that. That's why it's so important to be upfront and truthful about what you're dealing with, so that you can properly align with what's intended for you. So yeah, you're right. I still want more than one woman, but not a lot. Probably like 3 the most. And say, do you, bub? Do you, my love? A matriarch with snoo. Sign me up. Men love women, true. It's so funny. It's like the minute you give men the permission to be men, they just take all their clothes off. It's funny. It's funny. That's because you don't feel secure with just one, hun. Oh, y'all arguing now. Exactly. Men want to provide their currency to women. Men want to provide their currency to women. Currency can be understood in different ways because that's a little bit of a subjective term. Please expound, Mr. Peter. I got the perimeter. Hey, Jason, I see you. I'm down. That sounds great. People make it so hard. Absolutely. We complicate the things based off of our ignorance and expectations. How tall are you? I am 5'8". We are controlled chaos. I think we are chaos controlled. How about that one? Until you become sovereign in self, you're not really controlling anything. And then if you see the chaos within you, then it's not really chaos. It's intentional use of your energy. Shoot. And that's okay. It's a process. Y'all still talking to each other. Y'all should get married. Ooh, speak on emotional maturity. Emotional maturity and intelligence. Emotional maturity and intelligence are 2 different things. Very good. So, okay, my voice is like dimming down because my energy. All right. Emotional maturity and intelligence and the differences thereof. Emotional maturity is... Okay, so when you think of something becoming mature, that means that over time, through experiential knowledge, it has learned and exercised its best interest. So I'll say that again. When you think of something maturing, that means that over time, through experiential knowledge, it has learned and exercised its best interest. So in order to be emotionally mature, that means that over time, you have not only made room for your emotional expression, but you've been self-aware enough to know how to properly express yourself that equates to your best interest. So, for example, if you become angered by things easily, then being self-aware means that you're doing the introspective work to understand why you become angered in that way. And then while you are growing to learn to not be triggered and expressed in an ill-intended way emotionally, you are creating spaces that allow for the free expression of your emotions that keeps you and others safe, because you understand that you are in a space of being toxic possibly to others. That is being emotionally mature, right? Because not only are you self-aware, but you're doing the necessaries to provide what is in your best interest and thus the best interest of others. So that is an example of the expression of emotional maturity over time, being self-aware of how you emotionally grow and need to properly exercise it. Emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence is being able to, within that introspective time, being able to perceive exactly what it is you're working with. And then also being able to perceive the mirror within other people. So, for example, envy. Oh, that's a great one. Envy. Envy is an emotion, but its foundation is built on insecurities and the idea and feeling of lack within self. It is my intelligence that is applied to my emotions that allows me to come to that conclusion. So now when I become envious, I know that it is because I am experiencing lack within myself and an insecurity about something that I am not whole about within myself. And then because I have that knowledge, I have that intelligence about myself, I can then thus see it within others. And when I can see it within others, because I hold grace for myself, I can hold grace for them. So instead of being, reactive to how other people are expressing their emotions, I can allow for room for them because they have not allowed for room for themselves through their emotional maturity or their need for emotional maturity. Because remember, within emotional maturity, you've learned to make space for the evolution of your emotions. So that is the difference between emotional maturity and emotional intelligence, and how they coexist and how they can be utilized for the benefit of all. I hope that made sense. We're almost there. Tap, tap. Oh, thanks. I am fascinated with your progressive perspective. Thank you. Very engaging. Let's have a more in-depth convo. Listen, you're trying to dance with me because you know that this is my get. This is my thing. We can go back and forth for eons. And I will twirl. Listen. Oh my gosh. If you can teach me something, not living your full potential, it sounds, due to monogamy. I don't know who that's intended for. According to the Bible, only leaders must be monogamous. I've never heard that before, but just by the energy of what it's saying, I can see how that can be applicable, because a leader needs to be consistent in a frame of mind and thinking and sound within body. And when you are engaging intimately and sexually with multiple partners, you are subjecting your spirit and your body to constant change. And that is not in the best interest of governing a people's. So I can see how that can be applicable in ideal. So I grew up in Michigan, within the States. My father is Panamanian and my mother is Moroccan. It seems that one's experiences shapes one's emotional intelligence. One's experiences has a direct part to play in the progression of one's emotional maturity, and at the same time, one's experiences adds to the enrichment of how their intellect can play a part in the maturity of their emotions. Like when you laugh on the outside, but within you or inside, you are broken. What is that for? What do you mean? Add a little bit of pretext, or so that I understand what you're saying. So if one gets angry if one gets angry when they feel disrespected, it's because they are not respecting themselves? No. If someone gets angry because they're disrespected, then that means that they got angry because nobody wants to be disrespected. How you emote outwardly is a depiction of the maturity within your emotions. Like, you can be angry for sure. Just like the Bible says, be angry but do not sin. There is nothing wrong with being angry. Allowing for authentic expression means allowing for your emotions to do what they do. But creating the environment for those emotions to be expressed is what equates to intelligence and maturity. So be angry, but how you respond in the midst of your anger says everything. Pulling yourself away so that you can talk yourself through your anger and find the logic in the entire situation and possibly hold grace for the way in which you were disrespected shows intelligence and maturity. And then coming back and addressing the situation in a way where you stay on top, because obviously they wanted to go low, and you are sovereign and embodying the energy of the Most High. You don't want to go low with them. You want to be able to encourage a higher vibration, so you respond in a way in which dignifies and glorifies both of the lights within you. Great conversation today. I agree. You guys helped with so much expression. I'm so thankful. That's purely a man's purr. You're divided. I'm Dominican and Ghanaian. Dominican and Ghanaian is crazy. That's like a hot sauce on some curry goat. Stop playing. That's a nice cultural mix there, actually. That's really nice. Congratulations. The Bible is often the root of most disagreement. It's from a man's perspective. Some would say that the Bible was actually intended for men only. So I can see how it can be a place of disagreement, because it's given and imposed upon both men and women without proper dissection of its allegorical references and its metaphorical perspectives and things. It's just given as fact and militant expression. We're meant to heal our triggers. Disrespect triggers me, and that's when I feel unloved and angry. Well, taking into consideration, Peter, that not everyone has become attuned enough to know how to safely and lovingly express themselves with others, means that you will often come in contact with people who are disrespectful. That's just the world that we live in, Awakeness and kindness are not common, you know? So unless you completely isolate yourself, disrespect is something that you will encounter. But become studious about the psyche of the individuals that you're dealing with, so that way you can see whether or not they can see you. Because if they can see you and they can see themselves and they intentionally are disrespectful, then absolutely apply some heat, because nobody wants to be disrespected, but you do it in a way in which you are not harming yourself or others. Just be tactful. But if you can see that they're just emotionally reactive, immature, just wanting to respond because of the pain that lives within them, you have to kind of pat them on the head and understand that it's not personal, that it's just energy being, sent your way to remove the energy that they're feeling within. Speak on receiving self, aka love. Receiving self, aka love. Receiving love and just being. Receiving love and just being. Receiving self, aka love. And just being. So self-love, receiving self-love. So are you saying speak on the embodiment of self-love through the practice of being? Because if that's the case, self-love makes room and allowance for all things to exist within you and outside of you. It's like the ultimate form of what a monk represents. Just allowing for life to exist without having to necessarily engage with it, but then being in awe of the expansiveness and the beauty that lives within you. Because when you give yourself the attention that you deserve, you find out about all of the crystallines within you. You find out about all of the talents within you, all of the creativity and the intelligence that lives within you, and you start to apply it to yourself, and you become completely engulfed in giving yourself the pleasures that you have access to. And you don't necessarily have to look outside of you for those things to be fulfilled, because you can do it yourself and be so very much entertained. Be so very much entertained and satisfied. And that doesn't necessarily mean that you are dismissing the possibilities of enjoying similar things with other people. That just means that you observe that you have those capabilities within yourself, and you love yourself enough to ensure that your cup is filled prior to you giving or receiving from outside of you. And just being. Nope, I'm on the phone, love. All right, enjoy your morning. Good morning. And just being. I believe that just being allows, when you are embodying the energy of allowance, and you are just being, you are sitting in the middle of the theater of a 3D Cinemax. You are sitting in the perfect spot to be able to perceive everything that life has to offer. And that is like a constant roll of wonder, of expansiveness, of wowzers, of surprise, of new intelligence, new learning, of change. You don't have anything holding you back from becoming more and more like the Most High, because the Most High is a perfect embodiment of everything, a balanced embodiment of everything. So when you let go and you just be and you surrender to the flow of things, that's one of the best ways to quickly level up in love and in light. Okay, I gotta get out of here at 4, so we got 7 minutes left. Seeing past one's own nose is the key to the universe, in my opinion, and then it is an open, yes. See the whole field in view and move accordingly, I feel. Keeping in mind that what you view is subjective to your own internal perspective on life. So encouraging others to just go with their intuition about what they perceive and what is in their best interest is of good nature. 1 Timothy 3 verse 2, they use the word bishop, but if you look at other translations, it says leader. I see. It's 12:48 a.m. I'm in California. You have a couple of classes to teach in the a.m. When will you return? I started today at around 1:30 a.m. Eastern time, and that'll be the consistent time in which I come on, and I'll try to stay on after my delineations up until 4 a.m. I still want to have time to get this oracle reading in before I leave, though. So ideally, I want to do this a couple times out of the week. Specifically on Thursdays is when I give a briefing from the Restoration Network to the members, to the multifaceted creatives. So it's a little more intentional, not so it's a little more intentional, but I'll still be here. I looked it up. I watch your eyes to see your mind process and receive your words. And you know what's going on, because I do the same. It's a very intelligent way of communicating and learning. I believe in self-love before, and you can also see my sincerity and my intentionality when you do that, right? I believe in self-love before I can love someone else. Exactly. I agree with you. That's right. It's within us all. You're amazing. Thank you so much. Stay safe, my sister. I look forward to our next session. Asheo. Evolving Cons. Only one can hold oneself back. Agreed. How can I get a session? If you go to... How can you get a session? What kind of session are you looking for? Are you looking for a purpose development session? Are you looking for a metaphysician session? You know, where we're diving deep into your all and kind of working there thus outward? Be specific, because then I want to send you in a different direction. Of course, it's me that's holding and seeking. You're right, I feel. Thank you for everything. Thank you, Mirror. Nice meeting you guys. I teach classes too. Grade level public policy. Interesting, Mr. 33rd. Right? I know I'm not crazy. Because that would be very intentional as well. I wonder if you guys know how you are perceived by the intentional outside mind. Okay, no. You are not the 33rd. Okay, beautiful. Public policy. Okay, so if you would like to engage with the network, the Restoration Network, visit EEVH.net. EEVE.net, and you can register there. You can find out more information there. You can get in touch with me there, so forth and so on. If you would like to sign up for metaphysical therapy sessions, you can follow the link in my bio, which will take you to my LinkedIn, or my Linktree rather. And all of what I offer there on a metaphysical basis is provided. So I do dream readings, I do psychological therapy sessions, I do couple sessions, all of the above. So those are the ways in which you can engage with me, and I can engage with you, and we can equally exchange, so we can get closer and closer to the Most High. And yeah, I think that's all I got. Let me do this oracle reading for those that are still here. It is a collective. Yeah, no, you're not the 33rd guy, but public policy is interesting. I would have been wide-eyed at you, Mr. Ivan, if you were the 33rd guy teaching public policy. Like, really? That's how y'all getting down today? Just putting it all out there. Hold tight. I can take this off the charger for a second. Let's sit down. Sit down. Boy, you should know that I've got you on my mind. A secret admirer. Let's see. Can lift this up some. There she blows. I really don't want to sit down on this ground. Quickly. Quickly. Hotep denasit usir impu. Isa nu per karu kakam. Ka apadu kaseshu kamenkatu. Kahenkatu. Hotep denasit usir impu. Isa nu per karu kakao. Kahenkatu kakam. Ka apadu kaseshu kamenkatu. Ka ketnabet nafr swavet. Ma ampicher inkana ku emaki ma keru. Spirits, Most High, Amayaba, ancestors, spiritual support system. What do we have for those that are here? EEVH.net. EEVH.net. And do one pull. Wow. It's a lot of cards. Okay, see what we got.
Hi.
Hi. Ooh. Thank you. Ooh. So this is, okay, quick lesson for anybody that gets into tarot or oracle readings or any type of alternative form of communing with the divine and our ancestors and so forth and so on. A fundamental thing to understand is that anytime somebody gives you a reading, they are giving themselves a reading. So whatever messages come out are not only for you, but they're also for them. So the cards that came out not only resonate and are applicable to you guys, but they are also applicable and personable to me. So when you see people, and then also your spirit guides, another thing to understand is that your spirit guides never want to put you in a place of fear or doubt or whatever the case may be. Like the prayer says, lead me not into temptation, but deliver me from evil. They always want your highest good. So yes, EEVH.net. So when you find readers that are always talking about somebody about to die, they are out of balance. They are out of balance because the recycling of life is none of anybody's business but the divine's. You understand? And so to be projecting that type of energy does not help or support you. If it makes you fearful, and anything that puts fear inside of you is not in your best interest. Anything that confuses you is not in your best interest. All right. So, our ancestors, if you are still here on the call, your ancestors are very proud of you for maintaining and providing your attention to everything that we have shared. Keep going. We are encouraged to continue on this journey of higher consciousness and authentic expression. So you're not here for no reason. You are being encouraged by your support system to continue what you're doing. You're doing the right thing. And you are seen and cared for and will be provided support for along your journey of continued authentic expression, okay? The Aquarian card came out, which means not only will you be supported, but your community will show up. And your future endeavors will also be supported. And the technologies in which you utilize to express yourself will be shown favor. Okay, Aquarian energy. While you are doing that, you can prepare to receive an abundance and prosperity and success. Because anytime you authentically express, like I said before, you are making room for the allowance of the Most High within you to live freely. And you will automatically be supported, and you will automatically receive gratitude and appreciation, which will equate to success, prosperity, right? Fulfillment, abundance, something that can never be removed from you because you are directly connected to the Most High. You understand? This whole experience was a lesson to show you and teach you that there is a clear difference in the type of exchange and life that you can live separate from the one that we are conditioned to within the matrix. And the more you spend time in this type of exercise, the more clarity will come into your awareness. This is a lesson to bring you more and more clarity about where the true knowledge and where the true abundance and where the true love and experiential exercises are to be had. Okay, so that is the collective reading for this beautiful rising. I hope you guys felt the vibrations of that. I hope it resonated. I really hope to see you guys here again. And next time I show up, I really want to say thank you for allowing me. Thank you so much, because this is what my dark night of the soul, this is what my trials and tribulations are equating to, me being able to authentically express and exchange with you guys. I don't feel alone. I can sense my community, and I can love on y'all, and I can be a light to those who want to do the same. That is what brings me joy, and the God in me is so freaking elated. So thank you so much for holding space for me and being kind and encouraging me, encouraging the best within me. And thank you for allowing me to give to you and receiving in love. Asheo. May you guys have a beautiful rest of your day, and until next time. Thank you.